guys, it's Thomas and
Lily.
yes, we are back for more information, videos, fun stuff. Yeah. Okay, so first off, before we start the video, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how important subscribing and commenting is. We've had some really good growth this week in terms of subscribers. Really thank you very much for that. It means a lot to both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I wanted to bring up is comments. A lot of you guys have given us some really great feedback in the past. We really enjoy it. And so if you're ever worried or you're kind of uneasy on whether you feel that you should, please do. We want to get your input and we want to try things that you think of, because we don't really think of everything. A lot of what we have is ideas that we get from you guys, from the internet. So if you have anything you think that, I want them to try it, we'll try it. We'll absolutely try it. We read all the comments that you guys write. We are so grateful for it. And so everything that you want us to do, just let us know. If it's semi decent and it doesn't require us breaking the law or nudity, I think we'll be fine. Alrighty. So with that, on to the video.
Well, no, one more thing is we want to try to do a Q&A video. But we need you guys to give us questions. I know we went over a lot of things in our first video, the couples tag. But we will answer more questions. If some of those come up, we'll answer them again. But yeah, if there's anything you guys have, we're not experts, obviously, but like advice or anything.
We're learning as we go.
Yeah, we're here. Mm-hmm. So if you could give us questions, that would be great. Mm-hmm. And then when we have a bunch of questions, we'll make a Q&A video.
Yep.
So.
Are you good?
Yeah.
So with that, on to the video.
Okay. So today we're going to do like the language tag.
Yeah.
Both of us speak, I speak 2 languages. He speaks, how many do you actually speak?
I don't know. How many would
French, English, German.
Yeah, that's it. Being completely honest, I speak 3 languages with relative ease. German and English are the best. But we both, they are.
Your French is good.
My French is good, but it's not fluent. I still have to kind of think when I have to say things. And German is certainly a lot easier for me than French. But yeah, both of us grew up in I'd say bilingual households.
Yeah.
My family is British through and through. I'm the first American born in the family. So all the languages I ever learned in my house, was English. But I spent many years of my life in Europe. I grew up in the UK and in Austria. I spent 2 years in the UK and almost 11 years in Austria. So I spoke German and French, and I learned both of those in school. Lily, on the other hand, go ahead.
So my dad's American. My mom is half French and half American. And so she taught me French from a very young age. My dad speaks no other language than English. He can say obviously eat and like minor words, but he never really taught me any languages. Mm-hmm. So I obviously was speaking English because I grew up in the U.S., but my mom was speaking French to me the entire time. So I was going to school in English until 1st grade. Right. Then from 1st to 6th, I think it's either 6th or 7th grade, I went to an international school. So I had 1 day in French, 1 day in English, 1 day in French, and I was learning everything, math, science, history, all in French. And then the next day, all in English. So I was basically fluent by the time I was fluent for a 3rd or 4th grader. Right. And now I can speak fine, I guess.
Yeah, no, fluent. One thing I'd like to add to that is not really so much of a language thing, but we both grew up in homes where our parents really emphasized and loved to spend money on travel. Mm-hmm. Mine felt it was very important for us growing up, me and my brother and my sister growing up, because travel really does broaden the mind. Really, I love discovering new cultures, meeting new people, learning about different religions and trying new foods and things like that. I think it's really, really cool. That's why I love travel. And that's why I really, really like countries that are kind of cut off from the rest of the world because they're still very much set in their own ways. And I like seeing different people in their, in their own sort of environments. America's really, really great. It really is a melting pot, and there's so many different cultures. You can find anybody from any corner of the world here, which is awesome. True. But sometimes you want to go out and you want to see what a distinct culture is like. American culture is, I guess, an American culture, but it's not really a set culture. I think it's a hodgepodge of all these different countries and people, which is really, really awesome. But sometimes if you want to go out and you want to see the Arabic culture, you're really going to be experiencing something really cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was like with your family, but that's certainly what my family thought.
I agree with that completely. I think the last time I went to Europe, I want to say 16, and I'm 23 now, so that was a while ago. But that was such a big thing for me. Like I went to Italy, Spain, France. For me, because I grew up speaking French, but you don't really know how it is until you immerse yourself in that culture, in the language. Mm-hmm. I went when I was 5 with my parents, and we had a situation where there was like a little hotel, and my mom went to the store, and I was just home with my dad. And there was a whole issue about a cleaning lady and everything, and a 5-year-old me had to translate for my dad. So it's kind of like one of those things that was kind of cool that I understood and spoke, because if I hadn't been able to do that, it would have just been like confusion. So to me, I think it's just really important to go see, and you don't have to live there even to, a lot of people say, oh, go study abroad, which is totally fine and an amazing experience. But even going for like a week or two, like just, even if you don't know the language at all, getting thrown into something and trying not to speak English is like a really good thing to do. Because especially now, I know, at least in France, I think most places speak English.
Yeah.
And when they realize you're American, they speak English to you.
Right.
So saying, no, like I'm trying to speak the language is a really good thing.
Right.
So, because, you can go to France and only speak English. Right. And you'll be fine. But, like, you might as well stay here.
Right.
Like, what's the fun of that?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Right. One of the questions, because we wrote down a few sort of baseline questions, and one of them is, do you prefer learning languages in a class or individually? And so that kind of ties into what Lily was saying just now, with the whole cleaning lady incident. You can learn, the basics of French in school. School is great. I'm not trying to bash it, but I'm saying that all the German I learned was German that I learned because I was talking to my friends. Mm-hmm. The German that they teach you in school is very linear. It's very, cut and dry.
Boring.
Yes. And when you actually go to these countries, you see that they have a lot of culture, and they're divided into a lot of, like, counties, states, whatever you want to call them, and they each have their own dialect. And so the German I was learning in school wasn't really helping me. It wasn't really aiding me for, life in Austria. It was what you call a High German. And where I lived, it was a little state. It was called Carinthia. They have a very, very, very thick kind of a drawl to it. I guess it would be, if you compared maybe like Georgia in the U.S. to maybe somewhere like New York. Yeah. They're just completely different. They're almost in a different language.
Exactly. Like, especially, like, I'm speaking about France because that's a place I've been so many times. But, like, even, like, the south of France and then, like, the north of France, it's almost completely different language. And then you think about other places that speak French. Canada. Mm-hmm. I can't understand Canadian French at all. Yeah. Like, I can maybe pick up a word or two, but that's not the French I learned. Where else? Just pretty much anywhere. There's a lot of places that in, like Ivory Coast, which my mom grew up there, it's impossible for me. So just like depending on where you are, there's different, what would you call accents, I guess? Dialects, accents, like mixing words. Like I have a friend who's Canadian, and she mixes words all the time. And I have no idea what she's talking about, because that's just the way that they talk.
Right.
But I mean, it's excuse me, it's kind of cool to see different dialects, different languages. Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I guess we go on to our second question, and that is, what would you consider to be your native language? English. That is, my family's English, like I said. That's what I learned growing up. And the other languages are just languages on the side, so English is.
I'm going to say English only because I was speaking English to my mom, even though I understood the French. But I was pretty much learning them at the same time. I just spoke English more because I was in like preschool and kindergarten. But, I mean, I grew up in the U.S. too, so I guess English.
Mm-hmm.
What was your first language learning experience? Ooh. Like in school or like in general?
In general.
Well, mine was my mom basically since I was born. My mom would speak French to me, and I would answer in English. And that's why she threw me in an international school.
Yeah.
Because I refused to speak French, even though I knew how to, and I understood everything she said.
Yeah. My first language experience was, so my dad works for a tech company, and we had to move to Austria, like I said, and I knew nothing of the language. As a 9-year-old kid, you don't really think that there's different languages. You don't really think that there's different cultures. And if you do, you don't really expect to be faced with them. And so when I moved there, my dad put me into a school. I guess it would be an elementary school. I think it's elementary school. And I knew nothing. And my dad just kind of gave me my bag and said, all right, there you go. And so I was just surrounded by all these kids, and I heard all these words, and I tried to pick up what they were saying. I would take out certain words that I understood, because there's a lot of parallels between the English and other languages, and I would just kind of try and piece together sentences based on what I understood. Mm-hmm. So that was my first experience. Yeah. What languages have you studied, and why did you start them?
We kind of just went over that.
Yeah.
Kind of got thrown into it.
Yeah, French and German. Why did I start them? I didn't really have a choice.
Did they make you do French in school?
Yeah, they made me do French.
You didn't have to, choose it?
No, you didn't really, in Austria at least, you don't really get classes that you can choose. You're just kind of stuck with the curriculum they give you.
Okay, because I got to choose between Arabic, French, and Spanish. And then when I was in 9th grade, I think, there was a Mandarin class, and I did that, and it was horrible because it's a whole different. It just did not go well for me.
Yeah. How does your personality affect how you learn languages? Oh, that's a fun one. I'm a very, very impatient person.
I am too.
I hate having to wait. I hate having to be slow. I hate having to take my time. So when you're learning a new language, especially a language like French or German, it is incredibly difficult. English is very, very easy.
For people who speak English. For people who don't speak English, it's very hard.
No, because in English is a lot more basic. It's a lot more basic of a language than French.
Read and read is spelled the same. It's hard.
Well, yeah, certain words like that.
I think it's hard for people.
Like things like right and right, and which one you spell with a W and which one's an R, I-G-H.
And then right,
Yeah, okay, there's certain. Of course, every language is going to have some difficult parts, but I'd say German and French are definitely a lot more difficult.
I think German is really hard. I think German.
Yeah. Well, okay. Moving on to our next. What are your favorite language learning materials? Now, that's a weird one because I'm guessing that means, do you like audiobooks, reading?
I like speaking it. Can you read, write, and speak?
Yes.
All 3 languages?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can do both.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do all that in French and English too. Okay.
Same. As I said before, there's only so much you can learn in class.
Yeah.
The rest of it really is just get out there and mix with people.
Find someone who speaks the same language as you.
Or else you'll forget.
It is true. When we first met, I don't know if I knew you spoke French.
Yeah,
At some point, we realized we both spoke French.
Yeah.
So occasionally, we will both speak French to each other. And it's gotten us, we've had some fun with it though.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit here and there.
Speaking French when no one else understands what we're saying. So I think just having someone to talk to, having a pen pal if you're into that. I don't know if people still do that. We had to do that in 5th grade. But just having someone to talk to, going to the country.
Yeah. 7 or 8 are a little bit. No, we don't need to do those, do we?
Oh.
No, we don't.
Would you like to learn another language?
Yes.
What language is?
I'd love to learn Farsi. I've always loved Arabic, and I've always wanted to learn Farsi. It's really, really difficult from what I've heard, but I've always thought it sounded incredible, and I think it's a really good, useful language to learn.
I'd like to learn Italian, I think. Or Spanish.
Yeah.
But I think I'd want to do Italian first.
Yeah.
What is your favorite language? That we speak? Or that we want to learn?
Oh, favorite language? Yeah, again, want to learn because that would, again, have to be Farsi.
Mine would be Italian. But, okay, out of the ones you speak.
Out of the ones that I speak, English. English is so easy.
Mine is French.
English gets you around anywhere, pretty much, you know. So if I had to have one language and I was dropped somewhere I didn't even know, I'd much rather have English on my side than, you know, German or French.
What if you had to go back in time and you only learned English?
Go back in time where?
Like to when you were little and you never learned German or French.
Yeah.
You'd be happy with that?
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't. I like when I was little, I was a little rebel. I did not want to speak French. And now I love it. So
Your phone is going crazy.
yeah, it's my mom. They just got off the plane.
Ooh.
My parents are on vacation.
Nice. Okay,
what is the next language you want to learn?
Yeah, we already done that. What advice can you give to new language learners? Get out of the classroom.
Work at it. It's hard.
Get out of the classroom.
But do it. Yeah.
Immerse yourself with people that know the language.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say know it, I mean if you're learning French, try and meet someone that's from France.
Yeah.
If you're learning Arabic, try and speak to someone that speaks Farsi. You know, it's so easy to learn in the class. But then once you get out there into the real world and you're there and you have a menu in front of you and you're trying to order something, I would so much rather go off of information I've learned from someone that lives there than from what the book tells me, this is what you have to say. Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, like he said, what you're learning in class is most likely the polite version of the language. So you're learning
formal. I guess formal is a word.
Yeah, formal. Most people don't talk like that. No. Like even in English, like when we speak, like, and I don't know if you guys know, but like even in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, we all speak differently. There's different slang. There's different. You're laughing at me. There's just like different ways of saying things. Mm-hmm. So what you're learning in school, yes, will get you by. But, like, there's certain things that you would never say to, like, a peer. That maybe you might say it to your parents. Mm-hmm. But if you say it to your peer, you're going to sound weird.
Yeah.
So, like he said, like, get out of the classroom. Mm-hmm. Find someone from that country or area. Or even someone who just is bilingual.
Yeah.
My only cautionary... Yeah.
Your only word of caution?
Yes, thank you. I can't speak today. Is that a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I speak the language. And they're not fully speaking the language. It sounds right, but they're telling you things that are not right, especially in writing. I had a tutor in high school because I wasn't in an international school. And my teacher did not know how to write in French. Grammar was off and everything. So I was going home to my mom, like showing her my homework just because, and she was looking at it like, why are you getting A's on this? It's completely wrong. And that was a teacher. So I think just be very careful of who you pick to speak with or teach you, because it can go wrong. But I think that even that, it's still good to have someone that you can talk to.
Yep.
And also, don't be afraid to be corrected.
Yes.
Like everyone is learning.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, that person didn't know how to speak that language.
I think a lot of people will have a lot more respect for you for trying.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't come across as degrading, or because it's very, very easy to come across as someone that's just coming across as rude.
Mm-hmm.
So if you genuinely come across as someone who's really, really trying, out of respect, I think that really does go a long way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Oh, also, it's a different topic, but Lily worked really, 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 really hard on her new intro, which you saw at the beginning of the video. I would really, really love it if you guys could, same as I told you before, comment. Tell us if you like it. Is there something you'd like to see on it, or just something to change? Would you like to see us do something to maybe close out the videos? Just give us some ideas. We are so open. We are the most open people ever.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I tried to just find some pictures, but if there's anything else, or like you said, anything else you want us to do, just let us know.
Yeah. And so with that, I guess we should probably head for the hills. We both here would love to wish you guys a happy, happy Sunday. Have a great weekend, and we will be coming back at you in the middle of the week next week. All right, you guys, take care.
Bye.
Bye.